Greetings, Mighty Eagles. Today I'm going to explain a little bit about our non-testing plan for next week. So if you have any questions, I'll be setting up a today's meet where you can post questions and I can answer your questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first up, we have our outline of the non-testing week. You can see the different groups at the top and what they're testing. So Monday we have the math tests. Any of the students who pass the math test will be going to Bicentennial Park, and we have several investigation stations set up for that. We also will have the Airmark food truck, and if we do have problematic weather, then we will just basically repeat what we have planned for the May 11th day. So teachers that are involved in this plan are here, and I will show you your assignments next. Alright, so for your specific assignment, Horn will be doing the sidewalk chalk brain dump, which is basically questions on the ground, and students will rotate around answering as many as they can and correcting anything that's not correct. Winkler, Who Am I Charades, this will be an act-out station trying to guess a character from history. Hutchins Civil War Tug of War is basically students have to answer questions to grow their tug of war team. Once one side gets their entire team on the tug of war, then they battle. Martin is going to have the Can You Make Square Bubble stations, which is basically bubble juice and a bunch of wire hangers where they try to create a wand that will make a magical square bubble. It is very difficult, but it is possible. Duran. We have a timeline of historical events. It'll be a long string that's color-coded, and students are going to try to put cards in order and see if they get it right. Then they mix it up for the next group, basically. Wizenant has a wonderful, exciting activity organelle freeze tag that she created, and she will be manning her station, so I don't need to explain. Laux has a soil dissection lab. I've already explained that to her. Bomer has an egg drop design station, so students will have to partner up, create a design, build an egg contraption that will counteract the inertia of the falling egg. Osborne has a biodiversity Instagram scavenger hunt, and McDaniel has physics playground challenge. These two are kind of similar in that students have to go around and take pictures of different things that are showing examples of science in action, and then they put it on Instagram, and they get a chance to win jeans passes and things like that. Langford is going to have a modeling succession station where students imagine that the forest they're looking at has been wiped out, and they have to recreate over the years what it would look like. Key is going to be helping monitoring restrooms as well as lots of other things, I imagine, but I imagine that could be a trouble spot if students are unattended, so make sure we're monitoring those. Full and wider, float and relief. If somebody needs a potty break or needs some materials, then you can help with that. When it comes time for lunches, then we'll definitely need fully at the lunches at the food truck to make sure students are behaving appropriately. Greer is going to be with our non-testers that do not have a permission slip, so he will be claiming the lecture hall, and hopefully that's all we'll need. And they get to stare at the walls for like 4 hours. That sounds like lots of fun. So lunches are going to be kind of interesting. What we're going to do is we will have student lunches separate from teacher lunches. That way you still get your 30 minutes duty-free lunch. And so our first lunch is technically our yellow group, which is our history teachers. These will basically eat their lunch. You'll kind of monitor, make sure they're throwing away their trash and things like that. And then we have our next group of student lunch at 11:30 to 12. If we have to adjust, we can, but I feel like if we have them lined up and ready to go, then it shouldn't take that long. We'll have an area set up where they can sit and eat, and there should be trash cans nearby as well. So the next student lunch would be 11:30 to 12:30. And once we get all the students situated, then we will have our First group of student lunches gets their teacher lunch, and I did forget to mention our teachers from the second group here, our science teachers. Your lunch is while the first group of students are eating as well. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. But students will get a different colored wristband, and we'll get that put on the history students, and that way if they try to go up to the food truck and they don't have the wristband at the right time, they won't get served at that time. So look for those wristbands to be in your mailboxes probably by the end of the day Friday, as well as your rosters. Okay, locations. So when we start the day, we're going to be checking in specific locations. So gym, we have Hutch and Horn. Langford and Osborne are in the art rooms. I have Wisduran, Winkler, and Martin in the Inspire hallway. Greer's in the lecture hall, and then I have our cafeteria is Laux, McDaniel, and Bomer. So you'll meet with your students there, check in. You will have this PowerPoint emailed to you momentarily, and I will show you our Monday expectations and go over those with you now. Okay, this is the PowerPoint that will be sent to you. It is called Monday. So once you enter the PowerPoint, you'll go into presentation mode, go through all the slides. I'm going to exit presentation mode just because it's easier to see the way I have my screen set up. So as you're going through the slides, make sure you discuss these with them. Make sure they're clear on what's expected. So we will be at the park from 8:30 to 12:30. The park's right down the road. Students can use their ID number to buy their lunch from the Airmark food truck. You'll want to explain the lunch times to them probably, and history teachers, don't forget you will be giving them a wristband to identify that they are the first lunch. So dress code. Make sure that they are wearing school appropriate shirts, please. We don't want to represent our school poorly. If they are not in dress code, then they can go and sit in the lecture hall, or they can change, because I'm sure they've got something in their backpack that they can find. Food and snacks. Remember that it needs to be non-refrigerated items that they're bringing with them in a plastic bag. We are leaving backpacks at school, so they need to get anything out of their backpacks they need. If they do have bottles, drinks, and things like that, if you can check those and make sure that they are school appropriate, that they are sealed, that nothing has been replaced in a water bottle that may become a problem later in the day. If the bottle has been opened, then they cannot take it with them, so they can leave it there and buy things from the food truck if they already opened it. Other helpful items, sunscreen would be really helpful for your group, so make sure that you have sunscreen, somebody has sunscreen, and they know where they can find you to get that. Expectations. We really want to reiterate that this could be a big problem for them for the rest of the week. If they cannot behave, then they will have consequences on Tuesday. So we want to make sure we're representing our school well and that we can invite it back to the Bicentennial Park. Students are not allowed to go past the tree line in the back. If you've ever been there, there's like a forest in the back. We do not want the students in the forest. They cannot go past the tree line. There's a very distinct tree line, and you may want to kind of walk your students over when we get there and show them the boundaries. Obviously, we don't want them to go into the residential areas. That could create lots of problems, and we do not want them climbing on any of the towers with the electrical lines. So make sure to reiterate that, and you might want to go over the why. Seems no duh to us, but it's not necessarily to them. Waste needs to be disposed of in trash cans. Food's provided with the food truck. Make sure that your students check in with you every hour. I'm hoping that we will have a bullhorn that will make a terrible sound, and that will be our signal that they need to go check in with their chaperone. If you want to give them your phone number and have them, text a selfie or something like that, you can, or you can have them meet you at your station. You'll have a table set up with your station, and they can come and check in with you there. So you will have rosters with your check-in times on there, and if you can just make sure that you're checking off when they do check in with you, and then if somebody does not check in during that hour, please let Coach Key, Full and Wider, or myself, or Mr. Lawson know. That way we can do some looking if we need to. but we will not leave Bicentennial Park until all students are accounted for. So if you can let us know promptly that a student has not checked in, then we can try to resolve that before 12:30, and so we don't get stuck there for a very long time looking for a kid. I think that's it for expectations. We already talked about who's doing what. Students are able to compete for prizes. There are 2 different ways that they can get prizes. If you see the Instagram symbol on the poster, then you can post a selfie of your, doing the project on our Instagram. There's different hashtags on the tables, on our signs. Each one of these PowerPoint slides is going to be our sign on the station, so you'll kind of know what you're looking for. But that will be for an opportunity for students to win a Jeans Day. Also, the students will be receiving a reward card, and you will want to give them a sticker if they come to your station and complete that station. If they show you that they did all of the Instagram scavenger hunt, then they can come to you and get a sticker if they can show you proof that they actually posted all the pictures they were supposed to. If they complete all 12 stations, then we're going to do a free jeans week. For every student that does that. I can't imagine it will be very many because this is a lot of stuff to do, honestly. I don't know if it's really possible to do all of it. So each one of these slides is going to be your directions poster that will be taped to your table with all of your materials when you arrive to your station. So look over your directions and let me know if you have any questions. I felt like most of this was pretty self-explanatory, and I met with most of you guys to kind of go over what you're doing and talk to you about how it works. So if you do have any questions on your station specifically, please feel free to email me, text me, call me, and I would be glad to answer any questions that you have. And I think that's it. Have a wonderful day, guys.